wrong side of Adam's blade as he slices in, dices forward. Finn.
Wait,
oh,
what?
Okay.
Adam just gets a solo kill onto Finn.
Rogue call it off. Magnus storm forward. Nuke for the seismic shove, and Rogue were in.
Get fight. I've come with 4.
To bring it back, and now he's got double buff. He's gonna start healing up. Think he has to be careful, he has to be perfect. He dashes to the side. Noah absolutely shits on him. My God, it's beautiful.
Twice! Oh my god!
But Jun's still tanking crucially. Razor gonna be in trouble now. One more auto on top of slowing him down. Jun's getting run down as well.
Get that was optimistic.
But no, the stretching strikes. Oscar pulls it right back and says, "Not today. My support will stand."
I'm on back. Looks good, very good. Yeah. Very winning. Okay. Can end somewhere, mid or bot?
Amazing, thank you.
Okay.
Post-game check-in. We have BrokenBlade from G2 joining us after ending the 6-0 win streak of Fnatic. How does that feel?
Feels very great, especially after having a rough first week in the LEC, after we thought we had a pretty nice performance in MSI. Feeling pretty good to be the team that was also in MSI.
Yeah, and looking at Fnatic, particularly this game, it was so bloody to start off with. How do you keep your cool in games like that? Because it was fight after dive, after fighting for objective.
I mean, playing against Fnatic is always bloody. They are very proactive and they are never scared to, dive. And in this game, a lot of dives actually went wrong for both teams, which is quite funny. Especially top lane, I think they tried to dive me twice, failed both times, but...
Humble brag.
Yeah, but I like to play against Fnatic. I think they always put you, out there. They always challenge you. They're like, oh, if you're late, we're gonna kill you. They're very proactive. I think in this game we had a lot of tools to, punish them when they're misstepping, like in a wave, or like we killed Humanoid a lot this game because we just had the tools to do so. So, very happy.
Yeah, you should be, because this is another win for you guys on the board, and you also locked for playoffs, so that's a great spot to be. I also want to ask, in terms of going up against Fnatic now that they've come back from MSI, do you notice anything different about them?
I mean, it's hard to say. We didn't play against them a lot yet in practice, but they definitely do seem a lot stronger, right? A lot more confident as well. I think I really like the play style right now. Again, they really challenge us in the way of, like, we need to be ready in terms of, if you're not ready, they will just, kill us on the side lane. I feel like they play very well on side lane, very well on the Humanoid's side. I think this game we managed to handle it very well. Very happy about that. I think we had a very good draft as well. So shout out to our coaching staff.
Hey, shout out to the coaches. Shout out to Yike as well, because he got Kia Player of the Game. You happy with that?
I'm happy with that. I think Yike was very proactive on Sejuani. Had a lot of ultimates. I feel like, especially the Camille Sejuani is very nice combo. Very glad we got to play it. And Yike, if you listen, don't get cocky and keep improving. You're doing great.
Do you want to look in that camera and say something to Caps? Because he's on the other side on the desk with Laure.
Good luck.
Okay, good luck, Laure. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Ginny and Bibi. I guess I don't know what that luck was for, but sure, congratulations to Caps on taking down Fnatic today. There was a lot of milestones today. 100 times that these teams clash, 500 games in the LEC. How do you reflect on all these achievements, Caps, and also the fact that you beat Fnatic today yet again?
Yeah, I mean, definitely shows that it's been a lot of years now of playing in the LEC, and for sure the Fnatic G2 rivalry as well. And I probably had a lot of those 500 games were probably against Fnatic as well.
Yeah, so, there was a lot of them.
It's been a fun time.
On both sides of the matchup, actually, Humanoid was saying yesterday that it's often an ego matchup between these two teams. Would you agree on this?
I mean, I definitely think Fnatic historically even, but also definitely true right now, are just very confident and very aggressive, and they will force fights, which will give them a lot of advantages.
Yeah.
But also we saw this game, sometimes it will just be very troll, and we will all be around, and then they will just die. So they go for very aggressive plays, and yeah, sometimes they work out.
Yeah, and a lot of people would attribute, a lot of people are very confident in Fnatic, especially myself, because I was like, you guys were slumping a little bit at the beginning, you guys were ramping up and everything. Would you say that, it took you guys a little bit to ramp up, because I think you guys also started the latest out of all the teams, the practice for LEC. But now, would you say that your slump is finally over with this Fnatic win, and you guys are back to being, you know, the usual top dogs?
I mean, I definitely think the first week was very tough for us. I think it was like we came in with a lot of expectations about like what the meta would be, and there was all these like AP junglers especially were something we were testing out all the different ones, and like we didn't really find the right approach for us. But I think already starting week 2 scrims, we saw a huge improvement, and then week 2 games, like sure, they weren't the cleanest, but they were for sure better. And I mean, it's not like I think our game right now is clean by any means, but I do think we're back to winning at least.
And it showed because you closed out the game, but when I look at this dive, Odo, it was scuffed, it was bloody, it's everything you want Fnatic versus G2 to be.
Yeah, we had 16 kills at minute 9, but what I wanted to ask Caps is how does he feel being, you know, kind of like the spectator in this game? Because you see these failed dives on bot, and then on top as well they're trying to dive VB, and you're just sitting there in middle lane, and I'm like, oh, you guys are doing great everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, I think the initial dive, I mean, the attempt, I think, and the approach was good, but then, of course, the execution went a bit wrong. And there, you're just a bit scared because you're like, oh wait, they just did a bot dive, and we just did a bot dive and failed, and now they will do a top dive. And especially if that top dive ends up working, it could be like a big disaster. But the PB managed to survive, so that was...
Yeah, for me this was a huge turning point of the game, because I feel like you guys, I mean, they kind of hinted because they just randomly, you know, started fighting 4v4 when their stuff wasn't clean, but I feel like you guys are on the back foot. But also this fight, I feel like this is the game-winning fight, and I want you to walk me through this, because you're playing on the limit here.
Yeah, I mean, I think Leona was the only one in river. Like, Talia was somewhat close, but like not nearly close enough. And then he just mega went on me. I think they were not really on the same page, I guess. And especially with me having champions like Renata on my team, and like a lot of people who can peel me, it felt. I mean, I just didn't feel like I really had an angle. And to be honest, it was not. It didn't even feel really close. I think, yeah, that was just no follow-up.
It was really clean, honestly, in the end. I mean, and it's always G2, right? Although the fact that they find the clutch opportunities and they don't give any chance for the opponent to come back, and they did this back-to-back.
I mean, for me, it's just Caps diffy. No, every single time we saw it at MSI, you know, you buffering all the Tristana vials. I mean, that's still like, that's kind of BS, you know. Doing it this game with Corki as well is just, yeah, when this guy's on form, he always, like, you know, carries the team so hard.
Yeah.
So today was just another one of those Caps games, you know.
I mean, we said it. It's a Caps diff most often. Caps, thank you so much for joining us. Congrats
thank you for having
again
me.
on winning the match of the week. We have a 4th game on our hands here. SK taking on MDK. Casters, over to you.
Thank you very much, Analyst Desk and Caps. Please don't leave. I never want to hear a North American commentator say Caps it back to us. It will hurt. You have to stay here. No going anywhere. That said, time for us to move on to SK versus MDK. SK obviously already locked, still having a pretty fantastic season. And with Fnatic finally dropping a game, SK are in a position where they can start to really contest those top couple of seeds. Again, first and second will have the luxury of choosing their opposition from a small selection of the bottom teams at the top 8 when we come into playoffs. So seeding is still important, but on the opposite side for Mad Lions Koi, they're just fighting to stay alive. Quite frankly, it has been rough.
It sucks for them that Rogue won a game today.
It really sucks for them. And again, 6 losses doesn't concretely mean anything. We did double check before we got into the game. There's still too many scenarios to say things for certain. But I can tell you that 2 wins would be the better spot to be for MDK.
Basically, you have 3 games left, so the most you can get is 4 if you're Mad Lions. And 4 has been enough traditionally to get you into playoffs.
Well, and 4 at this point guarantees you at least a tiebreaker, right? We can say that with 100% certainty.
So, but we know for a fact that 3 is the most dangerous place to be at, and 2 is the worst place to be at.
Well, correction, 1 is the worst place to be at.
1 is the actual worst place to be at.
Let's shoot for 2 and go 1 step at a time. It will be a tall task because while Rumble has been banned away, Skarner has now been locked in by Irrelevant. He has been hit repeatedly since his rework, but he is still a very strong champion. Myrwn might be picking the top lane.
Sejuani has become like the new flavor in Europe. Like, they love their Sejuani.
So good. Like,
I mean, it seems like she's just the all-rounder, right? She just seems to be able to do everything. I do wonder if MDK was scrimming G2 this week based on their draft priorities. Sejuani Corki going to be locked in. We'll assume that the Corki is going into mid lane for Fresskowy, but always the possibility of it being sent into the bot lane. Now, if this Kai'Sa is locked in, it will unfortunately end Rahel's unique champion mini streak that he has been going
Rahel
through.
and Luon, 6 games, 6 different champions.
Over.
But if it goes mid lane, because that Tristana...
It's true, if it does go mid lane.
Seems unlikely, however. So most likely we'll assume that Nisqy will be
now it's all on
Tristana.
Luon to keep the mini game going. Will he pick a 70
different
champion?
champion in every game. I
We'll
think
have to wait and
probably
see.
he hasn't played Leona yet. It is actually possible.
Yeah,
the dream's
he
not
hasn't played
dead.
Leona. He also hasn't played Poppy support. Hasn't played Melio.
A lot of angles.
I could just list all the supports, which I won't do. Zeri logged in for Supa. I was gonna. I completely
laughing
forgot
your
the name.
own joke.
No. I forgot the name of Supa, and so I just went.
Yes. Supa here, probably piloting the Zeri. Something again that he's brought out before, and you know, frankly, this is a guy who I still have a lot of faith in if he can get to that 3-item point where Mad Lions Koi aren't at a massive deficit. The thing that has been tough for Mad Lions this season is the thing is in Winter that made them so good. Their early aggression, how confident they were, their individual mechanical abilities have kind of fallen to the wayside. It feels like they've been scrambling to put together that identity in the early to mid game.
It's crazy because I think that Mad Lions, I remember at the beginning of the year, there was the whole D tier. And then, you know, them usurping the expectations. And I mean, you weren't exclusive. It wasn't just a podcast thing. We had everyone on the broadcast filling out that tier list, right? And
I got roasted by many Spanish fans who confused me with Gilius, who put them much lower down. I did not.
And yeah, I mean, just for what it's worth, Mad Lions probably thinking about a Rell right now based on those bans, either Rell or Leona. But yeah, it has been disappointing to see them this split because they have kind of only trended downwards. Last split, I don't think they were anywhere close to being this bad. But the identity is the thing that they really have been lacking. And even if they do find advantages, like that game against KC, it's kind of amazing that they weren't able to close that one out.
Yeah.
So,
and that's going to haunt them, right? As we get into the last couple of games, again, this and then 2 more games next weekend, 3 final games, having that single win, finishing that game against KC might have been the difference maker. But for now, their fate is still to a certain degree in their own hands. We're going to see the Poppy, the Zyra, Alistar, and the Braum now taken. Leona likely to get locked in here. Obviously just a solid pick.
So Rell probably, which means that Luon's...
I love how attached you are to this.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was cool. I like seeing the versatility of individuals. And again, like, you know, Nisqy did have an incredible game yesterday. A lot of credit does need to go to him. But when we kind of look at the whole split, the talking point has been the introduction of this bot lane. And the fact that they have continued to show so many different bot lanes, I think is just a testament to what they have brought to SK. So the streak, unfortunately, will end. But I think that it's a very solid bot lane. The last time we saw Rahel play Kai'Sa, he was one of the early adopters of Kai'Sa. We saw him playing it last week. A lot of poke coming out from him on this champion. He was like a homing missile with this champion. Don't get baited by the hovers. You've done this long enough. You know the rules.
No, I get baited every time because it's not a bait.
It's not a bait. We've got Diana jungle.
Skarner jungle? No. Diana jungle. Diana jungle.
So they wanted AP threat, a little bit more AP. They said that the Kai'Sa wasn't enough, so we want Di.
What?
We want something to follow up with the Rell.
What is the idea here?
Well, so Diana, I mean, well, AP junglers to get buffed. Let's not forget that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They are just kind of strong.
No, I'm with you.
But also Diana over time is kind of like slowly received like lots
a lot of buffs, a lot more little attack
speed,
speed,
like the quality of life
damage,
things and all that stuff.
I'm with you.
Brand to round things out for Elyoya. It looks like that Myrwn adopting the Sejuani top from BrokenBlade.
All I'll say is I remember a number of Diana games in the last few years.
Not good.
Not good. It has not looked good at all. I remember Humanoid rolled up on the stage last split. It was bad, folks. And now I'm hoping that Isma has a different take on this particular champion.
I'm personally a massive fan of Diana. Just playing her in solo queue is like, she's really fast clear speed. She's a really fun champion to play.
Let me paint you a picture. 5-man of any one of these pieces of CC guarantees an instant follow-up from the other 2. That is Skarner ult, Diana ult.
The problem with Diana, she is inherently quite squishy.
Yeah.
Even if you build things like Rod of Ages, like unless there's a new tank build that I don't know about, once she's in, she's in. Right? So she's kind of this champion that is kind of feast or famine, that she needs to be in a powerful enough spot that when the engages happen, she's strong enough to follow through and provide that damage in the team fights, because that's kind of all she can do. The idea of her resets are, well, they're not really resets. Her E is not something where she's like Katarina, where you get a kill and then you just start popping off and stuff. She's all about going in, and the E kind of helps her stick to a target. So I'm excited to see how this Diana works. Love Diana, but does she make sense in this composition?
Of course, last Diana jungle, summer 2022. Jankos brought it out in a win. We've seen another role since then, but
I don't remember that game at all.
Nor do I.
I would remember a Jankos Diana game, but
We're getting old now, Betty. Our memory fails us when we must rely on production, putting fun facts in the prompter.
But I am excited to see Elyoya back on brand as well. We've been seeing him play a decent number of Sejuani games. Now he gets to play on that carry jungle role. Let's see what impact he can have on the map. Being that extra AP threat, we know that both he and Razork have had great performances on this champion throughout the year. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do on the champion. So in terms of early game, let's see what they're cooking up. Right now it looks like SK is prepared for any early invades coming out from MDK. They want to assure that Isma is free to clear through his jungle. Now, it is worth noting that when we talk about jungle pools, the kind of joke that I was having with Medic yesterday was that all of SK were bringing out different champions every game. You know, all this versatility, all these options. And then Isma was like, so Maokai or Sejuani, you can have either or. So getting to see him on Diana is a step away from what SK have been doing this split. But let's not forget, when he joined the LEC, we saw him on carry junglers, right? We saw him on champions where he was having agency. The whole narrative was about him and Nisqy working together, then building leads together. And then it just kind of shifted once they introduced this new bot lane. So let's see what he can do on the Diana.
Yeah, an opportunity. He gets to take his turn. You know, shows us what kind of build he's going to cook up here, what kind of thing he can put together, while the rest of the team...
We used to make this joke about Jankos, where every now and then Grabs would say, okay, you can have a carry, but if you don't carry, we're putting you on Sejuani.
Back to Sejuani duty. Hilariously, Sejuani looks really strong in the meta.
I know, it's
right?
true.
So Sejuani duty, maybe priority. We'll
but
see
the worst one was when
they
put him on Braum. Do you remember that?
I do.
And he was like, please Riot, nerf it. I don't want to play Braum jungle ever again.
Yeah. Funnel was not a particularly great time for League of Legends.
Level 2 coming in for bot lane.
Luon immediately tries to engage. Nice back step from Supa. Angle good, though, from Luon. Means he doesn't take any tower shots. Still a rough trade overall, but the Plasma proc coming in on a Supa. Make sure that he gets some good damage back.
SK bot lane being as aggressive as they often are. Fighting for control over this bot lane 2 versus 2. Doing pretty well. Still a biscuit advantage for Rahel with those pots invested early. Irrelevant on Skarner. For those that don't know, Skarner is the new Cassante. We are on 14-12. He has been nerfed. Pros don't care. They're going to keep playing him because of everything that he provides, and a nerf is not going to stop them. So he's going to have push in the early levels. I don't know if things are really going to shift for Myrwn. I imagine at some point it'll get to just like tank versus tank, you know, and they'll just kind of chip away at each other, but no one is really at any risk of dying. So the top lane likely not going to be relevant until that. No.
Good word. It's hard. It's like when Amazing was in the league. We need to stop letting players name themselves after phrases that we could use in a cast.
Yeah, it's really true.
Regardless, a slow early game.
Imagine if your name was I'm the Best. How awkward would that be?
Very difficult to commentate that.
It would be incredibly difficult. I'm the best with a pentakill.
Look, all I know is, of all the names we've seen, irrelevant, you know, not too bad in the grand scheme of things. But Elyoya continuing is clear here.
Full clip for both AP junglers, not really too surprising.
Yeah, definitely. I think the 1v1, Diana can do a decent amount of work. Obviously, Brand all burst, a lot more sustained damage there for Diana, but it really depends on the context. Isma's been caught out. They're starting to fish. Elyoya ready to come in with a bit of CC. It's going to get hard for Isma. Thumbs up, but he doesn't see. There's a Leona on the way. Now going to get the root. Instant flash out. Not a bad trade for the side of MDK.
Great setup for MDK. They knew the Raptors were respawning, but Isma's doing a good response. He's like, if my Raptors are up, yours are also up. I'm going to make a beeline towards them. But instead, he's going to go straight for the Krugs. He knows that those Raptors aren't safe. His top lane looking pretty good for Irrelevant.
Good burst trade back, but that's all the damage gone. Irrelevant just keeps shepherding him back. Guiding him away with the shield. The shield coming off the suppression. Ticking over, but the E not enough. Myrwn again hits him with the sleepy Teemo. 2 days in a row, this man finds his 1v1 outplays.
Isma doesn't have the E though. He's just used it to get to the minion to close the gap.
Myrwn's
He's waiting
to wait for passive.
cooldown.
If he gets passive, oh, but he lost grass
Myrwn's
proc.
just healing up through the...
No, he lost the grass proc. Oh, the Q, the flash! The Ian auto! Conqueror proc to thumbs up back in response. That took too damn long for SK, but they will at least make it a 1-for-1.
Yeah, that was a lot of time spent. Elyoya was able to clear his Raptors and his Krugs, and he was like, okay, fine, I won't bother, I'll just base. 1-for-1. Solo kill picked up, and first blood for Myrwn. Great stuff for him. He's going to pick up the Barmy Cinder, going to help him in this matchup a little bit, but just goes to show the Sejuani quite the duelist in the top lane 1v1.
Yeah. I mean, Sejuani base damage, when you hit both sides of the W and you also get the permafrost proc, it's a lot of damage early on. If you take short trades, this is a tough champion to deal with. Passive as well does a lot of work. We'll see how Relevant does once he gets a few more items under his belt, once he's in a bit of a better situation. But right now he's falling behind. Level 6 there for Myrwn, and in the bottom lane, you're going to look for the play. Immediate root and lockup. Nice buffer comes in from Luon, not to get caught out here. Exhaust down. Flash out. Rahel trying to sidestep through, but already ticking, burning. The Blaze passive means Elyoya will grab the kill, and MDK off to a pretty good start.
Yeah, really nice gank. Very easy to set up. Luon, very few options of escape. Isma going to try and cross map. He should be able to secure these as the pings come down from SK as to whether or not the dragon is being started. Keeping my eyes on Luon as he may be looking for a roam towards mid. But overall, MDK with a solid start. Admittedly, we've seen MDK with solid starts multiple times throughout this split. Often it's that mid game that falls apart. They're set up around fights, individual misplays, like transitioning from having a good winning position to closing out the game is the failure that we've seen from MDK this split.
Well, and a struggle for many teams, right? Oftentimes when you're in a land of early game and set plays, things that are really easy to practice in scrims, teams are gonna look more clean, but the mid game, the late game, the things that are harder to practice, often where it falls apart. We'll see if this game is going to be different as Elyoya. Bit of CC comes down onto him. Fresskowy starting to step up and trade onto Nisqy, winning this one thus far. Bomb gonna explode, level 7 coming through. Nisqy forced to rocket jump out. One more auto, one more rocket, but Fresskowy doesn't have the range.
Just a bit of back and forth trading, but overall MDK gaining control of the bot River Scuttle Crab. Isma continues to power farm through his jungle. His bot camps are up, and they want to make sure they protect them. Keep your eyes on Elyoya, making his way into the enemy jungle. They know they have the push in mids. They're trying to gain information here. They want to contest this red buff. They see that Nisqy's very low HP.
Dash in.
Rahel is on the way as well, so SK's feeling confident.
Again, as long as Brand has ultimate up, you really can't afford to stand that close to your ally.
And Isma's ulti this early on is not going to do that much damage. I think you're definitely right that the Brand ulti is probably what you need to be more afraid of. But ultimately, SK just wanted to bully them out of the jungle so that Isma could get the clear. He does have a small camp advantage, small gold advantage, but overall, MDK with the lead for now.
We'll see how these AP junglers play out. I feel like almost every AP jungler in the meta right now functions the exact same, which is they have one cooldown that's really important. If they jump in, die, and get that cooldown off, they've like done their job. Diana, not a Zyra or a Brand, but still, if she's behind, will probably feel very similar, where you leap in, you ult, you die.
Pretty much. Yeah, Zhonya's is really useful on Diana. Fun fact.
Bit of a luxury item, though. We'll see how much money.
I am curious as to, well, so I was going to say I'm curious as to what Isma was building. He's already going to start answering that for me. The Hextech Alternator.
Yeah, potentially just a rocket belt to come through first item. Oh, ulti or push back with the E. Now the ulti to come through just to keep that little piggy under the tower.
Okay. Yeah, that's a champ. Like, what was Myrwn supposed to do there?
Well, he was winning lane until he wasn't. That much I can tell you.
He got E'd into the wall. That CC'd him long enough to then get ulted under the wall, and then Irrelevant spammed off while watching him die to the tower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The real question is, do you think Cat Flowers feels like you did when mid lane Nocturne started getting playing and then it got nerfed into the ground because it was too good in pro? Do you think
the difference was
he regrets that Skarner is now popular?
My champ was never reworked. It was just
yeah, just buffed and nerfed.
I just had fun, and then the pros ruined it.
But he has become the villain. You know what I mean?
It's true.
You die the hero, or you live long enough to see yourself
feel the Nocturne effect.
The new Cassante of top lane. Yeah. It must haunt him, most assuredly.
Yeah, because he hates Cassante, and now he has become what he hates most. He's basically swapped to the dark side.
We're getting a little too dramatic. We've clearly been playing too much Elden Ring.
I just haven't spoken to Flowers in a while.
There's the pushback. Isma now ready to follow. Diana ultimate there. Oh, gosh, that flash was terrible. Myrwn has to be frustrated on that one. Hits us with a nice thumbs up alpaca emo, but good repeat play on the top side coming in from SK Gaming. 2-0 now for Isma.
Yeah, great news for Isma, because what you want on Diana is to be accelerated and to be in a good spot. Often the way that you do that is just by power farming and looking for opportunities around the map. You're not the best gank setter, or setup I should say, but follow-up, you're great. And so he's been able to find some opportunities and get ahead. Now they're looking to try and contest this dragon. It's going down a little slowly. I've turned my attention to bot Rahel. Rahel can't quite get to river. Fumbling all my words today. But they Looks like they don't want to contest. All right, SK respecting the early power. MDK gonna secure themselves. Oh, their first dragon. I actually thought they got the dragon earlier.
No, sadly, when the grubs were taken by SK, they didn't really have room to make a counterplay.
Is this an irrelevant roaming mid?
That is going to be a problem for Fresskowy to deal with, because here comes Skarner through the wall. Nice backstep. Ooh, Alvaro not quite able to connect, though. Still wants to keep the play going. Elyoya, decent damage. Ulti not going to connect either. Knockback from Nisqy. Bit of a moment of desync there.
Yep, just a bit. But irrelevant. He's going to lose a plate, a bit of farm, but he does have the TP.
It's an ulti from Supa, trying to chase down Rahel. Rahel obviously can't get the shield. Nice sidesteps on the Q, though. Rahel just dodging on Supa. He's missed so many auto attacks. One more plasma proc. Can he finish the kill? One more auto. Rahel styling in the 1v1.
Who's better than Deft now? Rahel just straight up outplayed him. I mean, what? That was just an outplay. Rahel sidestepped absolutely everything.
Behind in items, Supa had barrier up, but of course, Rahel did have the flash. But that said, yeah, clean 1v1.
I mean, my goodness. Well played by Rahel. We have another fight around the grubs.
Well, now the TP coming in. Myrwn's still frontlining. No one's procced the passive quite yet. Full commit, though, going in. They just want to burst through Elyoya. Moonfall going down with the exhaust is there. It stops so much of the damage, and Elyoya's still able to get so much back. Good fight so far from MDK. Elyoya finally likely to drop Irrelevant. Gonna clean up that kill himself, and now they're just turning right back on a Nisqy. A rocket from Fresskowy gets the job done. MDK feeling good on the top side.
A huge exhaust from MDK to shut down so much of the damage from Isma. Nisqy also struggling to follow up on the dive as well. He committed with the W. You could see, though, he couldn't quite get that last hit on Elyoya to get the reset, create some space for himself. And it's a one-team fight for MDK. We look back at this fight. The TP flank comes in. Nice patience from SK. The engage onto the backline. That exhaust was so quick. Locks down the Diana, and you can see Nisqy trying so hard to get this last auto. But now he's overcommitted, he's in an awkward spot, he tries to escape, the rocket connects, and MDK find themselves with the one fight.
Overall, good. Again, the exhaust for Diana, similar to the Kennen, right? That's all of the burst damage, really. Lichbane start as well, so really going to be about hitting that single target, hoping for more from the ulti. Isma now 2-1. Now Elyoya with a small lead. And again, we talked about the Zyra earlier, right? AP junglers, the Brand. If it just comes down to who can push alt button, Brand is usually going to be happier. Unless it's a 4 or 5 man from Isma, much harder thing to pull off. Now heading to the top side, SK. Hoping to make a bit of a sneaky play. We get a pause. The audience are very excited.
Quick pause from SK, but I think it's going to be almost immediately resolved.
Do you have a reason to think that? Or
yeah, because the players, they paused, and then they're already saying ready, ready from both teams.
Oh, okay. You saw ready in game. I was like, are you just out here predicting that?
No,
or are you just saying that full confidence that we're about to get an update? It's going to be 20 minutes. No, I'm kidding. We're going back into game.
We're going straight back into game. I don't know what the cause of the pause was, but...
They didn't feel ready. That's what ready checks are for. Now they feel ready. That's all it takes. So here we are, 5-5 the kill score, but it's a 1K gold lead for MDK. The problem, 4 grub buff for SK is a bit concerning. Obviously, the pressure when you have a Tristana, if Nisqy's ever alone on the side lanes as we get later into the game, do a lot of work to take over. MDK moving well.
My instinct is that MDK have a slightly stronger team fight comp. I think this is... Ooh.
Luon. Through, waiting for the stun to fall up. Seer, the Blaze following up, instantly getting all the fall-off damage from the Brand. Looks good. Nisqy grinding a bit here, but clean combos there from MDK.
Yeah, just a great punish. They know that Luon doesn't have the flash available. They catch him over, not even overextended, I shouldn't say that. But they just find a nice play. Numbers advantage bot, funneling more plates than Fresskowy. And MDK continue to build the leads. Really great stuff from them. Let's see if they can maintain this advantage.
I have a pause update.
Yeah.
Relevant was pushing one particular key on his keyboard so hard it flew off of his keyboard, and the pause was for someone to go pick it up. Because he's Skarner, I'm guessing it was Q, but that might be old Skarner, hard to say as we see a 1v1.
Wait. I really hope we have like a video of that. I mean, I just want to see a pro player.
I'm just asking you to look. I'm not saying you have to have the video.
But just a key flying off the keyboard, I've never seen that before.
Nor have I. But I'm not a Skarner main. Maybe this is a key mechanic.
Because like think about like Zeri, like you're spamming Q.
Also,
you know
old Skarner, you had one button and it was Q.
Yeah, and so I'm like, what was Irrelevant doing?
Hard to say.
All right, well, I'm excited for that update.
Yeah, it was committed to it. That's much we can say. But again, just a reminder. Overall, 2K gold advantage for MDK. In the last few weeks, this is looking like their best early game. They're pretty clean, they're pretty composed. Yes, they probably want to snowball this advantage even further, but now that they have the Herald and they've grabbed it uncontested, they have the tools to do so. Kraken Slayers on both the AD carries from the side of SK, but first items completed for everyone across the board outside of Alvaro on the side of MDK.
I mean, MDK is looking great in this game so far. I'm optimistic with their game state. Fresskowy is looking very strong on this
So they're probably getting this first tower, and that's 300 extra gold. What's the tower at, observers? 3. That's 3 HP.
A mild
Wind.
breeze could blow that
If we
over.
all audience together just blow on the tower, it will fall over. Don't do that. That seems unsanitary. Don't do that. But it might work.
Cool idea. Dragon Bean started off by MDK. SK, do they want to fight this? I don't think they should.
Here comes Fresskowy. No, minions won't get close.
No, they
Nisqy
won't.
determined. Drake getting taken down. MDK pulling back as a unit. Again, clean, controlled, discipline. Not trying to get baited in.
Now, SK, I think, doing a wise thing of just positioning on the top side of the river, giving them earlier access to the mid wave, allowing them to hit onto the tower. If they can secure this, that would be great.
4 grubs, Luon, now body blocking. So, SK effectively getting that one for free. They're going to immediately collapse onto Elyoya. Elyoya getting pinned into the wall. Can't push a single button, but Alvaro's here, and now Supa's going to try to fight back. I just don't think there's enough damage coming in right now. Lockup is there. The ulti from the Skarner not going to connect. Supa flashing over the wall. Getting away from the Diana ultimate. The punish has to come in from MDK now. They need to keep this fight in their favor. Supa still with the ulti proc. Rahel trying to run the hell out. And Fresskowy doing a ton of work here. But now Nisqy jumping in. 180 carry versus another. Nisqy continuing to free hit under Fresskowy. Alvaro continuing to backstep. Blue buff. What SK are playing for. Not even interested in the fight. Ultra Shock Laser not going to connect. Fresskowy tries to follow up. Irrelevant can go through walls.
Yes, he can. Okay, so that was quite chaotic. A bit of a misplay ultimately from Elyoya as he tries to enter back into mid lane through an area that doesn't belong to him. Luon, great awareness to just engage onto him, knowing that Rahel can follow. They get great damage initially. He's just chain CC'd in the air. And then Alvaro chooses to re-engage, knowing that the collapse is coming through. You look on the minimap, the double TP comes in from mid and top. They're looking to create this pincer, but SK still have a way out. So they start making their way towards the blue buff. Irrelevant flashes over the wall. Nisqy now arrives, and with him there, they can take down the front line. It ends up being a 2-for-1 in favor of SK, but playing on the very edge of these fights. Again, though, a bit disconnected from MDK. The TPs were very far away. The positioning from Elyoya wasn't ideal. And now they're opening themselves up to another mid-tower. Look, they've overstacked on top side, threatening that. But they're just leaving this objective completely isolated.
SK, the second you give them that edge, to bring themselves back to the game. Gold just about dead even. Supa burning both sums in the previous fight. Rahel still has the cleanse. Right now, it's a difficult one for MDK. We'll get the tower back topside at least. 2-2 the tower score.
Yeah, Nisqy can just go back and he can go and grab that for himself. This huge wave top. I mean, the map state feels pretty good for SK right now.
Irrelevant going in onto Myrwn. Oh, because Rahel's here, of course. Lovely, lovely Kai'Sa, but the immediate counterplay, Isma. Thought they were the ones making a play in mid lane, but it doesn't happen. Quick flash out from Myrwn. MDK get the pick back.
Yeah, MDK overstacking top. Catches Isma off guard.
Again, they have Herald here. MDK, that should be them breaking open mid lane tier 1 tower at least.
They can probably siege it onto the second one as well. They're likely not going to commit too hard.
Charge in. Irrelevant coming over the wall. Looks like they're trying to turn it back.
They don't even actually get this. They're so afraid of Irrelevant. Fresskowy not being there, I guess, dissuades them. So they show that level of respect. The mid tower will not go down. They still hold on to the gold lead for now, though. This Corki is incredibly strong. Likely going to have the upgraded rapid-fire cannon on base.
Which is big. That additional range makes it so much easier to poke and prod before the fight starts.
Base.
Luon, again, just trying to disrupt.
The beauty of that Rammus emote is that Rammus only says okay. So while he's giving a thumb up, he's just being like,
he could be saying
okay,
anything.
Bro.
It's like I am Groot. You know what I'm talking about?
No, he's saying okay. That's what he's saying. He's like, okay, bro.
No, but
okay.
Doesn't he just say okay?
Yeah.
Like, couldn't there be a whole Rammus language of other things he's saying?
Oh, you're totally right.
It could be anything he wants.
Exactly. Yeah, it could.
He could be saying, you messed it up.
We need our own tiny raccoon to interpret what
yeah, what is
saying.
Right, get on it. Oh, I'm saying we need a champ to translate for Rammus. We need our own Guardians. The Galaxy. Now we need a Guardian of mid lane tower. MDK really want to finish that one off. The TP now coming in, and he's in no man's land. Luckily, it's Myrwn, however, so it's not going to mean too much. Alvaro off to the side. Looks like he might just be sacrificed here. MDK immediately retreat. Relevant going through the wall, hoping to find an angle. Fresskowy starts to poke. Slow
I think he's found an angle. The blast code.
Certainly has. Isma, if he flashes forward, has the reset off of Myrwn. Suppressed now coming back, brings him into the Diana ultimate. And that's the combo they were looking for. Elyoya not able to find the stun, immediately gets flashed away from the ulti, bouncing back and forth off of him, but it's a double kill for Isma. And I gotta say, Diana looks a hell of a lot better when you got a Skarner ult to set it up.
And just like that, we see the fall of MDK again. They're in a solid spot. They're sieging onto mid, and they can't react to the TP flank. And that happens. SK with a beautiful collapse, catches MDK completely unaware. A really nice 5v5 fight where they keep all 5 members alive, and now they're gonna get the Baron.
7K getting lower, Alvaro poking his head in, but there's really no opportunity. Supa sprinting mid lane to try to get the mid lane tower back. He will be able to do so. Hoping to find some Raptors too, but alas, they are already gone. And again, the start here is just so disastrous. Alvaro dies before the fight really even starts.
The TP idea is good from Myrwn. He tries to react, but look, there's no engage. They're kind of on two sides as to what they want to do. Once they lose their support, they're trying to escape, but this blast plan, Supa even tries to proc it beforehand, but he doesn't quite have the range. Oh, and then just look at the combo. Absolutely clinging from SK.
And for SK, right, when you're the one who starts the fight, when you've already got the advantage, you can just keep stepping up. The pressure is on MDK to find the perfect moment to flash, land your brand combo. And if they wait too long, if they hesitate, that window, that brief window, just disappears completely. And now, SK, they had the 4 grub buff earlier. MDK have been stacking Drakes this entire game, but I don't think they're going to get a chance on the 4th one because SK have the Baron, have the grub buff, going to start knocking these towers down and only further extending their gold lead.
And I have to say, the thing that we talked about with SK at the start was, can they maintain their form? They've had good weeks once before, but then it's collapsed. And to their credit, they've only gotten better. They've showcased an ability to snowball a lead, build it through their aggression, be it via the bot lane or the mid-jungle duo. But more importantly, they've showcased their ability to come back from deficits, the way that they do it, finding good fights, finding smart picks. And this is another demonstration where they just blew the game wide open from a single TP flank. And it comes from every individual member not only having those highlight moments, which I think has saved them in a lot of plays, but also just great map awareness and overall solid play. So SK cementing themselves at the top of the LEC, which I think has caught everybody off guard.
Certainly. The instant welcoming of this bottom lane, how good they fit in from day one. Given the short period of time they had to adjust. Very impressive stuff. Good scouting from the side of SK. Met with a lot of initial skepticism, but clearly the decision has paid off. 1.6k individual lead for Rahel. He is a terror. MDK have to be careful about where they use their resources. If the Kai'Sa is allowed to run free in these fights, wreak a lot of havoc. For now, Rahel just ushering in the mid lane wave. Doesn't want to step too far forward until he sees the rest of MDK on the map. Luon potentially there to cover.
Siege is patient and well executed so far from SK. They probably want another wave in mid. They're a bit disconnected in terms of their waves right now, but the cannon minion doing some serious work on the bot tower. Irrelevant just throwing those rocks at his opposition. Rahel doing a good thing of escorting that wave in. Isma moving over to cover. MDK now have one too many members on the bot side of the map, exposing the inhibitor.
Myrwn now has to backstep, flash forward from Isma, immediately going to ult to bring him back. Myrwn getting cut down, will eventually fall. Rahel cleaning that one up, and again, MDK not quite on the same page immediately though. SKR, one carry down, looking to make it another. Fresskowy and Elyoya still standing, trying to lock up, trying to kill the Kai'Sa, but the ulti coming out, the killer instinct. The exhaust there, but it's too late. Everybody's already dead. The exhaust does nothing, and now Nisqy is here when one carry falls. Another steps up to take their place. SK see weakness, see an opportunity, and instantly capitalize on it.
I mean, the bot lane is just duoing out, I should say, MDK's backline. Really nice initiation, great confidence from Rahel. Doesn't even burn the flash in that skirmish. And Luon loses his life, but the trade-off is worth it. 6-0-3 for the Kai'Sa in this game. 14-9 the kill score. And a near 8k gold lead. SK, they struggled in the early game a little bit. MDK finding those advantages, but we look back at this play. Myrwn tries to stop the tower going down, but it's SK that punished the mistake. And then Isma makes the choice, you know what, I'm going to get out. I see the collapse happening, I'll walk away. Luon says, no, I'm going in. Finds a 2-man ultimate. They one-shot Supa. Rahel then gets engaged on. And look at him, he uses the ultimate to create space away from the Leona and the backline trying to kill him. And then Nisqy comes in to secure an extra kill. Great confidence from this SK bottom lane, and again, we can't sing their praises enough.
Certainly can't. Almost an 8K gold lead now for SK. A lot of that in jungle and AD carry, even 1,000 of it there for Luon. But part of the reason why Kai'Sa is so obnoxious, right? When you pair it with someone who has as much reliable CC as this Rell, you're so quick to get to that 5 plasma stack, proc point, an isolated target, that Acathian range, the evolved Kai'Sa Q. It just does too much damage. This isn't the poke build, this isn't the AP build, full-on focus on the on-hit here, so if Rahel gets to just auto-attack 4 or 5 times, there is nobody on the side of MDK who's going to survive that except for Myrwn.
Seen him just melt whoever he gets into contact with. They're keeping him isolated now. He has a 2-level advantage over Supa. There's nearly a 3k gold lead. This is one strong Kai'Sa. On top of the fact that you still have Irrelevant that you have to get through, look at this tankiness that he's gotten for himself.
Yeah, the good news is you have a Brand, but Irrelevant doesn't even have that much armor, but he just has so much health. It'd be tough for them to shred through it. Brand bits and pieces. Obviously would love Rylai's, has the Seekers as well, just for the stasis active.
Yeah, he has 4,069 HP. Irrelevant.
Look, Skarner seems pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know if he should make it through pick ban phase. That's my thought.
Oh, diggy, diggy, dig.
Here we go.
Okay, well, who knew that ice was so effective against rock types?
Yeah. Look, man, Pokemon's done us a lot of favors over the years. I understand the elements of the world much more clearly. Who knew? Fairies beat dragons. Not I.
Who did know?
Not me. But it makes sense when you really think about it.
Yeah, when you really think about it.
Of course, if you really,
100%.
yeah, the logic.
You have to really think about it.
You have to really think about it,
But it's there, yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Now, SK are just waiting for the Baron. They know that that's all they really need to close out this game, and MDK are praying for a steal so they can hopefully try and stall things out to turn this game around. But the pressure is on for MDK. Losing here puts them at 1-6, and while it doesn't eliminate them from playoff contention, they'll only have the final week of the regular season, 2 games to turn their split around.
It starts to feel like your destiny's out of your hands, right? All it takes is enough teams to find 3 wins for you to fall up short.
Here we go. Baron is alive, and it's going to be started by Isma.
You're going to shred through this objective. Isma and Rahel should be enough on their own, but all 3 carries going to focus fire at down. We'll get to lead it. MDK have decided this is where they want to fight. We'll spot the Baron getting lower, but then they realize the Baron's already gone. Mustered together, thought they might have the angle. Irrelevant stepping up with the rock just to poke. SK, TP to the bottom lane. I think they want to end it here. They're not even going to wait for resets. Just trying to keep the pressure up.
I mean, there's no need, right? You have the Baron. You know how much stronger you are.
Yeah, you're not going to get any more percentage-wise probably stronger.
I can tell you right now, Rell can already kill the whole team. He doesn't need the extra
Rell?
item. Rahel.
Ah,
yeah.
Important distinction. I don't think Luon does that much damage, but we'll have to see. Relevant just stepping up to frontline. Rahel pushing the waves in. MDK getting zoned off the bot side tower by most of SK, just putting so much pressure on. Nisqy taking his time, pushing into the wall. Isma ready to follow up with the combo. MDK hoping to punish, but Relevant is so damn tanky. Multiple members locked up. The Seeker's on guard gets Elyoya a bit of space, but it's not quite ideal. Supa, for now, untouched, starting to stack up, has the ultimate. The lightning crash coming through. SK overcommitting. Supa with the double kill. This is exactly what MDK needed, but now he's been locked up, knocked back into the wall. Relevant punishing him for stepping up, and MDK once again getting pushed back. Nisqy wants to make the difference. Knock back on Myrwn, won't quite be able to get the reset. Nisqy now in trouble. 3 stacks 4. Permafrost not going to come down. Nisqy leaps in and gets the double. Myrwn just doesn't have the range or the angle, and SK say, hey, we'll just take the base. They can't afford to take the fight anymore. Elyoya wants to defend, but they're just dancing on him, weaving around them. Finally, Nisqy will drop. MDK trying to hold, but he's just empowering the minions. As long as Isma doesn't die, the base will. Oh, that has to be infuriating. SK, bring it home.
A moment of hope for MDK is shut down by the Winions as SK bring themselves to 6-1. An impressive performance, a nice bounce back from this team as they cement themselves at the top of the table of the LEC with 2 games to go. Great opportunities for SK moving forwards.
Certainly are. High seeding important. Of course, you can vote now for your player of the game at LEC on X, Irrelevant, Isma, or Nisqy. All good options. The only person who really loses out here from an outside perspective is all the people in solo queue who will see Diana jungle. Of course, commiserations to the side of MDK. For now, we're going to go ahead and do a quick break. When we return, an interview with Coach Swiffer.
Hey, Laure.
Yeah?
I need a bit of help with styling since I'm new here, and I was wondering if I could show you a couple of outfits.
Yeah, sure.
Amazing, thank you so much. I'll be right back. I'm a poro snack. Get it?
I don't know, man. No, not really.
I don't know, Laure. It's hopeless.
No, it's gonna be fine. Here, let's have a break.
Even the biggest champ needs a break.
Back to the drawing board then, I guess.
Hey, shouldn't you be on stage right now?
Hey, you got a pick.
Tom Kent?
What? I was not expecting this.
And a crazy off-meta pick that secured you the win. How did you come up with it?
I just listened to my gut.